Welcome, listeners, to another My Mind MashUps deep dive where we unravel mysteries, spark curiosity, and make sense of complex ideas together.
Today, we're tackling a sensation that seems to be, well, everywhere.
It's that subtle, unsettling feeling that the world's basic rules have somehow changed. You might feel like time is moving differently, or that things used to be a certain way just aren't anymore.
And it's more than just a memory glitch. It's this pervasive sense that the baseline reality we all operated in, say, 10 years ago, the consensus reality has fractured.
Right. Things that were once pure fringe. UAPs, cryptids, even the idea we're in a simulation.
Suddenly they're being analyzed by mainstream institutions, and it feels like it's all happening at once.
Exactly. So our mission today is to dive into a pretty comprehensive stack of sources to figure out what's really going on. Is this evidence of a fractured timeline, some kind of mass Mandela effect?
Or is it something else? Is this feeling a maybe predictable byproduct of cultural change, algorithmic exposure, and just profound psychological stress?
We're going to synthesize evidence from physics, psychology, and tech to help you understand why so many people feel this shift.
And what modern science actually allows versus what's just perception. It might have less to do with particle accelerators and more to do with your phone screen.
Okay, so let's start with the hard evidence that our world is, in fact, revealing itself to be stranger than we thought. Let's unpack how the extraordinary has become utterly ordinary.
And hey, while we're getting started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy content that makes you think.
So the first major force here is just the normalization of things that used to be, well, fringe beliefs.
Right, it's not that these ideas appeared overnight, it's that the cultural stigma around them has effectively vanished.
Take cryptids and the paranormal. A 2019 survey found that 52% of Americans believe in some form of the paranormal. That's ghosts, psychics, Bigfoot.
Which is a huge number. But here's the key insight from the sources. The actual belief levels haven't changed that much since the early 2000s.
So what's different?
Public acceptance. The conversation has moved from private belief into the public square. You have reality shows about it, huge conventions. People can talk about it without being immediately ridiculed.
And that completely changes the texture of our shared reality. Nowhere is that institutional shift clearer than with UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Oh, absolutely. Historically, any UFO report was just dismissed. It was swamp gas, weather balloons, mass hysteria.
The turning point was, what, 2017? With that reveal about the Defense Department's secret program?
ATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. That was the moment officialdom basically said, okay, we are taking this seriously.
And then in 2020, they officially released those Navy videos.
And confirmed they were authentic. They didn't know what they were, but they knew they were real. That created an instantaneous, undeniable shift in what the public sees as a legitimate topic.
So now we have a permanent bureaucracy for the unknown. The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARO.
And they're busy. They've cataloged over 1,500 UAP reports, with 757 of those coming in just the last year alone.
That's an explosion.
It is, but this is the critical part. While ARO says 21 cases are still totally unexplained, the office has found, and I'm quoting, no evidence of extraterrestrial technology.
But that's almost beside the point. The point is, the topic is no longer fringe. It's moved into mainstream scientific and political discourse for good.
And that feeling of a shifting world is also being fed by brand new scientific discoveries right here on our own planet.
Yeah, the sources really highlight this. Even our basic understanding of Earth is expanding so fast. It adds to this feeling that we live in a world full of mysteries.
We're talking about things that were, until very recently, just dismissed as camera glitches, like atmospheric anomalies.
You mean sprites?
Sprites, yeah. These are these brief red-orange flashes way up in the atmosphere like giant jellyfish made of light spanning tens of kilometers.
It sounds like something from a sci-fi novel. And then there are the gigantic jets,
which are basically electrical bridges connecting the tops of storm clouds all the way up to the ionosphere. It just shows how much we still don't understand about our own planet's electrical systems.
And if that doesn't make you feel like you're on a strange new planet, just look at the deep ocean.
Right. We're finding these things called deep-sea brine pools. They're literally oceans within oceans.
The name of that one in the Gulf of Mexico is just incredible. The hot tub of despair.
It's perfect, isn't it? It's 4 times saltier than seawater, and it's full of methane and hydrogen sulfide.
So anything that swims into it just dies.
It dies and gets perfectly preserved by the dense brine. So when you realize our own planet is still yielding these alien-like mysteries, how can you feel anchored to to a stable, known reality.
You can't. It fundamentally shifts your confidence in what we think we know. And that uncertainty extends all the way into physics and philosophy.
Yeah, even core concepts like consciousness, like reality itself, are now subjects of serious mainstream scientific debate.
The origin of consciousness is still a total mystery in neuroscience.
It really is. The Cogitate Consortium recently compared the two leading theories, integrated information theory and global neuronal workspace theory.
And what'd they find?
Well, they couldn't conclusively support either one. The upshot seems to be that our conscious experience might have more to do with sensory processing than the high-level prefrontal cortex we always assumed was in charge.
So after all this research, we still can't really explain the subjective experience of being you.
Exactly. And when our most intimate sense of reality, our own consciousness, is still a huge open question, it creates a void. And people tend to fill that void.
Which brings us straight to the simulation hypothesis.
It used to be a fun philosophical thought experiment. Now it's being treated as, serious physics.
You've got researchers like Melvin Vopson proposing the second law of infodynamics, the idea that information is physical and the universe might be optimizing data like a computer.
But then you have very robust counter-arguments. Other physicists argue mathematically that our universe cannot be simulated, because reality itself can't be reduced to just an algorithm.
The takeaway for you, the listener, is that this debate has left the dorm room. It's now a legitimate, high-level scientific conversation.
So you have this massive confluence of things happening. The government is validating UAPs, we're discovering bizarre things on Earth, and physicists are debating if reality is even real.
And that rapid, simultaneous awareness of all this stuff creates what the sources call timeline clustering.
Which leads to the perception that all these bizarre things have just emerged at the same time. Which brings us to the psychological context.
Okay, let's dive into the psychology and the tech stack that's amplifying all of this. And if what we're saying is resonating with you, now is a great time to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next deep dive.
So how much of this feeling is just an artifact of algorithms? A significant amount.
Because they just rely on repetition.
Exactly. They exploit something called the mere exposure effect. A 2025 study showed that repeated exposure to images, even fake ones, dramatically increases how credible you think they are.
Repetition makes the extraordinary feel familiar. And if it's familiar, it feels believable.
And we see the direct impact of this in how algorithms shape our worldview. Studies on search engine bias are, well, they're revealing.
I saw this one. Repeated exposure to certain search results can actually shift voting preferences.
Significantly. On a simulated Google platform, the vote shift went from about 14% after one exposure up to nearly 23% after repeated exposures.
And on social media, it's even more powerful.
Way more. On X, that same kind of shift went from 49% all the way up to 69%. So when the system keeps feeding you UAP stories and simulation debates, they stop feeling like anomalies.
They start feeling like the normal background noise of reality.
Right. But beyond just the algorithms, we have to talk about how chronic stress and information overload are literally distorting our sense of time and reality.
The digital era is just accelerating our cognitive overload.
And our sources point to several sort of new digital era syndromes. One is derealization, depersonalization, or DDD. It's often triggered by trauma or extreme stress.
And what are the symptoms?
Feeling like you're an outside observer watching your own life. Perceiving your surroundings as dreamlike, or just having a distorted sense of time.
So during periods of global stress, which we certainly had, our own coping mechanisms can make us feel disconnected, like the world itself isn't quite real.
Absolutely. And then that feeling of uncertainty gets compounded by something called apophenia.
That's the brain's tendency to see meaningful connections between totally unrelated things.
Correct. And it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's an evolutionary threat detection mechanism. Your brain is hardwired to look for patterns. It craves a narrative.
Under stress, that pattern seeking goes into overdrive.
Precisely. So when your brain is being hit with all this ambiguous data at once, UAP reports, weird coincidences, political instability, it desperately tries to link it all together.
Into a coherent story, like the timeline has shifted.
Even if the connections are purely random, the brain becomes an emergency correlation engine.
It's amazing how quickly we jump to these cosmic explanations when the cause might be psychological and algorithmic. But let's put these theories to the test. What does real physics say?
This is where we need to ground ourselves in the hard science. Because while that narrative of a shifting reality is compelling, the physics just doesn't support it.
So modern science can affect time, right?
It can, but only on microscopic infinitesimal scales. just like Einstein's relativity predicted.
Time dilation is real. We use it every day.
We do. The classic example is GPS satellites. They're moving fast, and they're further from Earth's gravity, so their clocks literally tick faster than ours.
By how much?
The total difference is about 38 microseconds per day. It's tiny, but without correcting for it, GPS would drift by miles. Time shifts are real, but they are micro, not macro.
Okay, so no current technology can create a shift that would change history or our memories.
Not even close. Which brings us to the Large Hadron Collider at CERN.
The source of so many rumors. That it's fracturing reality, opening portals, causing the Mandela effect.
So we have to ask a really important question here. Is the LHC the most powerful thing in the universe when it comes to particle collisions?
I mean, it's the biggest machine humans have ever built. The energy levels are huge, right? 13 tera electron volts.
It sounds enormous. And for a human-made machine, it is. But it is dwarfed by nature. Cosmic rays are striking Earth's atmosphere constantly at far higher energies.
How much higher?
We're talking energies up to 10 to the power of 20 electron volt.
Wait, 10 to the 20. Can you put that in context for us?
Okay, if the LHC is like a powerful hammer, the cosmic ray collisions happening above our heads every minute are like entire galaxies colliding.
Wow.
The famous Oh My God particle, a cosmic ray detected back in 1991, had an energy about 40 million times higher than anything the LHC can produce.
That is a truly humbling perspective.
And it should be a profound reassurance. Nature has been running experiments far beyond our capabilities for billions of years, and space-time is still here. CERN cannot fracture reality.
And the fear about it creating black holes.
CERN's own safety reports confirm that even if microscopic black holes did form, they'd evaporate instantly because of Hawking radiation. It's an issue of psychology and fear, not physics.
Let's bring this all together then. We have these cultural shifts, these powerful algorithms, and our own stressed out psychology. It seems the shift is definitely in our perception, not in physical reality itself.
That's precisely it. The core forces are interacting in a kind of vicious cycle. First, mainstream institutions are normalizing fringe topics.
Second, algorithmic exposure is just hammering us with this information, increasing its credibility and desensitizing us at the same time.
And third, our own psychological coping mechanisms, derealization, apophenia, are kicking in under chronic stress.
So awareness alone, when you combine it with stress and digital saturation, can absolutely mimic the sensation of a real physical timeline shift.
We are perceiving change far, far faster than reality is physically changing. And this whole convergence is intensified by one last, really powerful factor: the loss of a shared sense of normal. We're losing our common reference points as a society.
We've definitely seen that. Behavioral changes post-pandemic have stuck around. Surveys show more than half of older adults spend more time at home now.
And the U.S. Surgeon General reported that 1 in 2 American adults experiences loneliness, which has health risks comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
So that societal isolation erodes our stable social networks.
Exactly. When you don't share daily, stable experiences with a wide range of people, each individual's personal reality starts to diverge.
And that void gets filled by fringe speculation and algorithmic narratives.
That's why the world feels so fractured. We're losing our collective baseline. So the feeling that reality has shifted isn't about physics. It's about a convergence of culture, technology, and psychology. We're just realizing how much we didn't know.
And how fragile that shared reality really is.
Like, comment, and subscribe to hear more. My Mind Mashups. Deep dives.
And here's a final provocative thought to mull over, based on the source material. If this societal isolation continues to increase and our reliance on these hyper-personalized online feeds also grows, how quickly will our personal perception of reality diverge completely from everyone else's?
What happens when there's no shared baseline left to even return to?
That is the central challenge. The reality you perceive might already be unique to you. Find My Mind Mashups everywhere you listen: Amazon Music, Audible, Facebook, Pocket Casts, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube.
And please, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective could shape our next deep dive.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.